And I think it's Damian to go first. No? It's the groom, Dominic, to speak to you first.
Thank you.
Dominic.
Right. First of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming. You've made it all a brilliant day. And I'd like to thank everybody who helped set this room up beautifully. You came and was involved with that. I'd like to thank, we would like to thank Kim's mum and dad for looking after our baby.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank especially Roshi for helping with the cakes and the photos. I'd like to thank my mum more than anyone for everything you see, all the chair covers, food that you'll be eating later, just everything, and generally support that as well over the years, not just with this, but with everything. And I'd like to thank Andrew, where are you? For this beautiful cake that you'll see over here, which will unfortunately be ruining with a knife in a moment. And I'd just like to welcome Kim into being a Cusack. A lot of you, maybe non-Cusacks in the room, don't realise what being a Cusack means. It's not Polish. It's not a Russian dance. And I'd just like to say that you're actually stunningly beautiful today. Words can't describe it, and I love you very, very much. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the bridesmaids who have been fabulous today, and I've got a little present for you all here, which you can come and get afterwards. And I'd like to propose a toast to the bridesmaids.
Oh, to the bridesmaids.
And I'd like to introduce my brother, who is going to regale you with the usual blend of exotic dance.
Thanks, Dom. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming here today to celebrate Dom and Kim's wedding. For those of you who don't know me, you do now because Dom has said I'm his brother, but I'm also his best man. I'm his older brother of 5 years, which you probably wouldn't believe looking at Dom. He's had a bit of a hard life. I think you'll all agree that today, so far, it's been a great day. And Kim, you look absolutely fantastic as a bride. And Dom, you've scrubbed it reasonably well. When Dom asked me to be his best man, I was a little bit surprised, as I thought he'd probably ask one of his closest friends. But apparently he was busy today, so I have all the pleasure. Being asked to be her best man is like being asked to shag the Queen. It's a great honour, but nobody wants to do it. Apart from Sean. I remember the day that Dom told me that he'd met a girl. He thought that she was the one. Her name is Kim. She's from St Matthews.
I'm not.
And I met her online on the internet. Having seen what Dom looks at on the internet, I was quite surprised and relieved that that muscle boys thing was a phase. I have to say I had some reservations because Dom's not always been that successful with him in the past. Take Dom's ex-girlfriend for example. She was very miserable, very melancholy. Body like a melon, face like a collie. And then I met Kim. And it was apparent straight away that they had so much in common and they were kind of made for each other. And Dom really has found his perfect match in you, Kim. And we all welcome you to the Cusack family. During the best speech, I was supposed to embarrass and ridicule Dom about all of the crazy, stupid things he's done in the past. Like getting blind drunk, falling asleep, and then getting up and walking around, sleepwalking and urinating in the most ridiculous places. But I can't, unfortunately, because that was me. Dom's not like that, he's much cooler than that. So I'd just like to tell you a little story about what Dom means to me and how special Dom is. Many years ago, I was looking after a flat in well, actually, I was living in London, and I was looking after a flat for a wrestler that had gone on holiday to Barbados for 6 months, and he'd left me with one key to the flat. And Dom came over from Leicester to visit me, didn't know London at all at the time, and I'd left him in the flat saying, Dom, that's the only set of keys, so whatever you do, don't lock yourself out. So, yes, Dom popped out, murderers to the shop, I don't know what he was doing, and locked himself out of the flat. And what you've got to understand about this flat is it had a little table, which is probably from here to where you're sitting over there, and where I used to keep the keys. And Dom had locked himself out. He's in London. Before the days when he had a mobile phone, he didn't know London at all. He didn't know where to go. So he's kind of stranded. And I don't know what you would have done at this point. And I don't know what I would have done at this point. But Dom's something else. Dom had a look at the situation. So he looked through the letterbox and he saw the table in the distance and he saw the keys sitting there and he thought to himself, well, what could you do? Could you phone a locksmith? Not really. He didn't have a phone. He didn't know where he was. Did he have any money in his pocket? No, probably not, knowing Dom. So what Dom did was he went downstairs and he went outside and he found a tree. And off that tree, he found a branch that was quite thin and long. He snapped it off and he trimmed it down and he took it back and he fed it through the letterbox to see if he could reach the table and get the keys. Unfortunately, this particular branch that he was using was too short. So Dom went back to the tree, hacked off another branch, and tied it up with his shoelace, and fed it through the letterbox, and it was long enough. However, he couldn't quite hook up the keys. So he withdrew it again, and this time he thought to himself, how am I going to get those keys? So he searched his pockets and found his own keys, and took off the key ring. He opened the key ring and he formed it into a hook, and he attached that with a shoelace to the end of the stick. By this time, Dom has no shoelaces and he's locked out in somewhere he doesn't even know. He fed it back through, he hooked up the keys, and we got back in the flat, which was great. So the moral of that is, if you're ever locked out, phone Dom, it's cheaper than
That's typical Dom.
What can I say about Dom? He has integrity. I should have put these in order. He has integrity. He has a piercing intellect, impeccable wit. Sorry, what's that one, Dom?
Good eyesight.
Terrible handwriting. Hold on a minute, I've got a few more that I've asked people to say about Dom today. He's an underachiever. He's lazy. He's apathetic. Dad! Apologies. There's another little story about Dom that just came into my head. Dom will also make a fantastic dad. I remember a while back when I was in dire straits, Dom came over to London to help look after two of my daughters, two twins. They were babies at the time, and they were going through a phase where They were pinching each other, they were biting each other, they were scratching each other. So Dom looked at the situation and thought, this isn't good. What can I do about this? So Dom came up with a solution of buying 4 tennis balls and cutting little holes into them and sticking them onto their hands. So no harm could be done on either side. I've kind of got this under order. So on a more serious note, folks, I have some wonderful news for you today. It won't be long now before the happy couple will be needing nappies. Oh, Dom, you see he's got a bit of a bowel problem. I think on that note, I'd like you all to stand and raise your glasses. To the happy couple, Dom and Kim.
Dom and Kim. Absolutely brilliant.
I like that silence there.
And now, the cutting of the cake.
Camera's at the ready.
What, your cake?
Always in front of the camera, aren't you?
Did you have to start it off before everyone else was doing it? What?
The sun's come out.
You know,